Hi, this is a special carpisode of Women Be Talking. I was on my way to this lounge to meet some friends, and then on my way, I decided that I didn't want to go. I'm so sorry, guys. I love you, but I just don't want to do anything that I don't want to do anymore. Life is too short. I've been thinking about Aziz Ansari, like all day. Not really him, but the girl, Grace. It's so hard. Her story, I just read bits and pieces, and from what I read, my humble opinion is that I don't think, of course, that her story is really the subset of what Me Too is about. Let's define it. I thought that Me Too was for people who have been sexually assaulted or had been pressured into doing sexual acts at their workplace, either in order to be promoted or keep their job or something to do with work, right? That's what my understanding of it was. I didn't think it included being uncomfortable, because I do think that uncomfortable is just too subjective. I had a friend whose parents got divorced, and when her parents got divorced, her life completely fell apart. And I don't take away from the genuineness of her feeling crushed because her parents were divorced, but I grew up in a household without married parents, and I have other friends who, you know, have been adopted or grew up in foster care, and it's like everyone handles things differently. So feeling uncomfortable can't be the litmus test for Me Too, in my opinion. Like, when I first heard it, I literally put on my Facebook, Me Too, and I'm not going to talk about the details, because there's no point for me. I understand why other people talk about their details, but for me personally, sharing my story isn't going to help anyone, and all it's going to do for me is drudge up things that I don't want to think about or talk about, really. I saw this other woman write her an open letter, and she was so angry at her for coming forward with her story. She said that her story was chiseling away at the Me Too movement. And then as I listened, I got annoyed, because I'm thinking that only applies for women and minorities. Like, you don't understand that by you saying that her story chisels away at the Me Too movement, you are doing what people do to silence groups of people, because it only happens with women and minorities. For example, if a man rapes a woman and then denies it, and then it comes out later that he did it, no one goes and says, "You lying about being a rapist chisels away at the integrity of men." No, it's like, no, you, one guy, you're the rapist, and you single-handedly are the bad guy, and the rest of the men are cool. This woman goes on this tirade about how this girl, Grace, is chiseling away at a movement, and I don't see it that way. Like, I don't agree that her story is a Me Too story. I don't agree that, you know, Aziz Ansari is now Mr. Rapey guy. But I also don't think that because she has this opinion that some other woman is being hurt by her coming forward. You know, that's just me. Like, I just don't feel like one person has to ruin it for everyone else. I get it that they do, obviously. But I think that just that mentality of, oh, one person in your group messes it up for everyone is part of the problem, because other groups don't have that distinction. Like, the reason I pulled over is because I came up with a solution. I know people are going to think I'm being funny, but I'm not. I come up with brilliant solutions to things when I'm driving. I think that men like Aziz Ansari, maybe, like, you don't have to be that famous, but just, if you're famous enough to where if something comes out about you, it's going to be a headline about it, I think that you should have women send you a text before they come into your house. Like, I think that's a good idea. And I think women, we have to be understanding about it and like realize that it's the times we live in that people have to protect themselves. I'm all about people protecting themselves and feeling safe on both ends, because I can see, and I've talked to like 2 of my male friends who are more well known about the Aziz situation, and I see that they have like a hesitance. It's 2018, send a quick text saying, hey, I am coming up to your place. I consent or do not consent to having sex with you. Put it in writing. And then women have to be understanding too, that if you put in writing, hey, I don't want to have sex, and the guy gets it and he's like, oh, well, I do want to have sex, you can't come up. Like, don't call him a jerk. You know, don't do that. Just be like, oh, okay. You know, he doesn't want his career ruined because he misses a nonverbal cue. Like, I'm all about a verbal cue. But then, even then, like, for me, I feel like the cue is sort of just not going in. That's hard. I get that it's hard, but, so here's an unfair rule that I participate in. I told my friend this and she was like, you will set women back. I am not speaking for everyone. The only person that I can speak for is myself. For me, I give the consent if I come to your house after a certain point, or if I'm still at your house after a certain point by myself. So for example, there was this guy, a little more well known, he had a party. I knew what he was doing. So every time I would try to leave, he would get busy and, you know, be like, wait, just wait. And I saw that the crowd was dwindling down. And when I noticed there was a point where there weren't enough people, I was out. I didn't say bye. I know that's rude. Not that I think he's rapey, but it's just, for me, I feel like I give you the consent if I'm at your house past a certain time. You know, celebrity or not. It's just a personal thing that I do. And I'm gonna be honest, I do think that other women should do it too. You know, being a woman is my reality. And men being sexually aggressive is my reality. I get it. You shouldn't have to. Should you have to be like, oh, I'm not coming to your house past 10? Or if I come into your house past 10 o'clock, then I'm giving you consent to have sex with me? No, you absolutely shouldn't. But at the end of the day, what's worse? Like going to someone's house and having an icky sexual experience where you're giving head to some dude that you really don't like, or just leaving. Sometimes you have to just weigh it, the what if. It's not fair. It's not fair that I got followed around CVS today. This woman followed me around CVS today. I almost wanted to steal something just to prove her right. I should. Okay, I think I'm gonna go home now. Go to sleep. Thanks for watching.